address a very difficult and current situation, as well as one of great historical significance and contemporary relevance. Give me 1 second, I think. Did I start recording? I did. It did good work.
Edit that out.
The shared narratives of injustice and the suffering in the Nakba of 1948 in Palestine, the incarceration of Japanese Americans during World War II, and the ongoing struggles faced by the people of Palestine due to the genocidal acts currently happening. As we look deeper into the history, we must remember that understanding the past is crucial for shaping a more peaceful and compassionate future. Just after I finished 3rd grade, my family was in the process of packing up and moving across the river from Cincinnati to northern Kentucky. I left all the friends that I grew up with behind, and it was a difficult time for me. After growing up in a busy urban area, we changed to a quiet suburban neighborhood where I didn't know anyone. Sometime later, I met some other kids in the neighborhood, including a Palestinian family with 5 children, 2 of which were close to my age. We became very good friends. The family was very welcoming and kind. They became like a second family to me. We hung out together, played basketball, and I often got in trouble with my parents for staying out too long and not saving room for dinner because I was full of Palestinian cuisine. I was also introduced to Islam and practiced it for some time, and it has come back to me very recently. Alhamdulillah. I never knew why their parents came to America or what they experienced prior to coming here. Of course, it was never taught in schools. They never mentioned anything about it, and it's not until now that I know of the atrocities that they likely had to deal with. The internet and social media creators that I follow, and have even become friends with many, have been informative and loud to get their message out. In 1948, the Nakba, or catastrophe, unfolded in Palestine as a result of the establishment and colonization of settlers in Israel. This is where nearly 750,000 from the 9 million population of Palestinian people were forcibly displaced from their homes, resulting in the loss of land, livelihoods, and the disruption of families. This event marked a profound tragedy with lasting consequences that continue to shape the dynamics of the Middle East, but this was just the beginning. Similarly, during World War II, the United States government made the grave mistake of incarcerating over 120,000 Japanese Americans in internment camps, the majority of whom were US citizens. This decision, fueled by fear and racial prejudice, stripped these individuals of their rights, dignity, and freedom. Families were uprooted, their lives were disrupted, leaving scars that persisted long after the war ended. Drawing parallels between these historical injustices and the current conditions and ongoing genocide in Palestine emphasizes the persistence of violation of human rights and international law. In Palestine, communities continue to face displacement, restricted movement, and the denial of basic human rights. Innocent civilians in Palestine have been continually detained, denied access, and killed by the IDF for 134 days. This situation demands our attention. This is a calling for the urgent need for a more global awareness action and demands for an immediate ceasefire. Specifically, seeing continual videos of current events in Palestine shows the extreme severity of truths of what's happening. A father is calling his children's names in a building that was leveled from carpet bombing by the IDF in a residential area. Calling for his children with tears on his face, as others are digging into the rubble, desperately trying to find them, praying they're still alive. Civilians waving white flags with their hands in the air, trying to walk up the street to reach other family members and trapped in a so-called safe zone. Then gunshots rip past them. They flee the area, but one man collapses before he even makes it 10 steps. Most recently, a family, including 6-year-old Hind Rajab, in a small car, are shot at by machine gun fire from an Israeli tank. Then the tank even destroys the ambulance that came to rescue them. The common thread in these narratives is the profound impact on innocent lives due to geopolitical decisions, discrimination, and failure to recognize the inherent dignity of every individual. The experiences of displacement, loss, and struggle for justice resonates across time to millions of people protesting in many different countries across the globe. As we reflect on these shared stories, we must ask ourselves, how can we break the cycle of injustice and work towards a world where the rights and dignity of all people are upheld? It begins with acknowledging the historical wrongs, fostering empathy, and advocating for policies that prioritize justice, equality, and human rights. Educating ourselves and others about these historical events is essential for building a more compassionate and understanding world. By learning from the mistakes of the past, we can strive to create a future where the rights of all individuals are respected regardless of their background, the color of their skin, or ethnicity. The parallels between the Nakba, the internment of Japanese Americans, and the current struggles in Palestine underscore the importance of collective action to address the problems that are currently happening. Let us stand together in solidarity, advocating for a world where the lessons of history guide us towards a future characterized by compassion, equality, and justice. Wamin el-Nahi il-Habahi, Satat Palestine. Translation, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. And I will finish with a short video.